Still until today, the most common questions I get from mothers or from women who want to hear the diastasis recti is how to engage the core, and I see this as a very common problem to why they are not able to heal their core, because they are not performing the exercises with an engaged core, or they're not bracing their core, they're not engaging, they're not doing the breathing exercises correctly in order to get them the results. Step one, as I mentioned always, step one is always establishing the base, which is the 360-degree diaphragmatic breathing. This is the base of everything. This is the base of how you engage your core. This is the base of your breathing during the exercises. Again, just to clear any confusion, let's take it step by step and see how you actually do that 360-degree diaphragmatic breathing. Now, before you ask me, no, you do not have to sit on your feet just like I do, but this is how I am able to record it right now. Of course, you are most welcome to sit on a chair or anything like that, because you can perfectly perform a breathing exercise from a chair. In fact, you should perform this breathing exercise 3 times a day at least, in any moment of your time, of your day, for like 5 to 10 breaths, just to practice it, master it. The difficulty to it is that in the beginning, especially right after pregnancy, you might not be able to feel your deep cores that much. It really takes time and effort to connect your breathing with your core, with your deep core. And not to confuse it, your deep core is not your belly. It's not the belly. You may have fat here, you may have bulging belly here. Your core is not your belly. Your core is everything that is here from the diaphragm, transverse abdominis, rectus abdominis, pelvic floor. So the midsection area is all core, is not just the belly here, and especially not fat or belly muscles. It's the whole thing. And when we are talking about deep core, we're specifically talking about the transverse abdominis muscles that lie from up till below here, is like a corset muscle from here, the whole part of here. So that is what we are talking about inside, and not the outside part. So what you have to activate, it has to be inside, and you have to feel that kind of contraction that it performs while you are breathing. So you have to feel that something contracts, something lifts when you are doing this breathing technique. So something moves inside there, to say it that way. If nothing moves, nothing contracts inside there, nothing tightens, you're probably not feeling your core yet. So you will need to keep practicing this breathing technique as much as possible in order to get there, because you will only get there by practicing it. Not once, not twice, but continuously each and every day, in and out, all the time, during exercise, all the time, during the day, just after lunch, when you wake up, all the time, really, all the time. I think it also took me time until I could really feel my core muscles, and after you deliver your baby, like right after the pregnancy, right after the birth, it will be a little bit more difficult to just feel it, because they are still weak there, yeah, obviously. And that's why we have to actually practice this to strengthen it. So in the beginning, it was also difficult for me to feel right after pregnancy, but I kept going, and I kept practicing this until it was really like mastering it, and really like able to control the muscles there. Where we are going to start is a 360 diaphragmatic breathing. The mistake you shouldn't make is only expanding your belly on the inhale. So on the inhale, we are going to allow us a full expansion, front, back, even back, and sides. And then as we inhale from the top, imagine the air is going inside the nose, top down here. Inhale, imagine you inhaling to the sides here first, after the nose. So you're controlling it from here. You want the air to come here first, and when the air goes from down here, first here to the sides, after it will enter back, and then after it will push down to the front as well, and in your belly. So this is how it goes. And then on the exhale, once we have this full expansion around here, front, back, on the sides, at the back and the front, because the air comes expands in the side, it goes to the back, and then it pushes down in the belly. That's why the belly will get a little bit expansion. After, when we exhale, the first thing that is going to come back is your belly. This is why we say it's like a corset, it's like zipping up, like a hoodie, or zipping up your pants and a hoodie, or like a whole something that is right here in the middle, because the air is right down here, the last air that came, and this is where we want it to go out first, and the air will leave like this, coming up. So then it will flatten here first and then come up and leave the whole body. So we inhale from up from the nose, and then everything goes down to the side and pushing out. And then when we exhale, first the belly leaves, and then the air comes back as it left last as the air came last to the belly. It will come back from the belly to up to the diaphragm and the rib cage, and then it will leave out through your mouth. So let's try the expansion based on what I explained. Expansion to the rib cage, inhale via nose, expanding through the rib cage to the back, down, and then exhaling and zipping it up. Feel the expansion in the sides, in the back, and then the belly in the end slightly, not forcing it in the belly. Belly will just feel naturally, and then exhale. Inhale, expand, and then exhale. And then exhale from below to up. Now you can tackle this two-way. Exhale first naturally, but when you want to engage your core, you have to add a little bit of extra contraction. The deep core muscles a bit, kind of you pull it in slightly. That's how I can, on the exhale, obviously, we never pull in anything on the inhale. In the inhale, we allow the expansion all over, and on the exhale, we do a slight extra effort to it as well in order to engage and brace the core more. Inhale, and then exhale. And while you are exhaling, keep that moment. Keep that moment of the exhaling, and keep that position of your core, how you exhaled at the next one. Inhale, all around, and then exhale. Now feel that stretch, that kind of tightness in your rib cage and below also your belly, but mainly in your rib cage, in your ribs. And try to inhale now, keeping this position. And feel that the rib cage is still expanding from the air and the back, but not in the belly. You just feel that it sort of lifts, and then exhale, still the same. Again, inhale in the rib cage, and then exhale. Belly should not move. Only the rib cage should move in this case, and then exhale. Try to practice based on what I explained now. Inhaling with the full expansion front, back and side in the rib cage first, then pushing it down slightly to the belly. Naturally, don't force the belly to expand, because when you actually inhale with the 360 degree in the rib cage, in the ribs, in the diaphragm, you will more feel the expansion in your sides and in your ribs here than in the belly. The belly should be secondary, and just something that after the air has overloaded sort of in this area, it will push down slightly. And at the same time, this is when your pelvic floor will also relax, which means sort of like opens. And on the exhale, you have to feel that pelvic floor also slightly lifts together with your transverse abdominis, which also contracts. So imagine like when we inhale, everything is just relax and expand. You're supposed to let also your pelvic floor kind of, I call it open, like relax. And then everything just contracts and the pelvic floor lifts on the exhale. So the expansion mostly comes in the rib part on the top here, where your ribs are, and to the back. And when it pushes down, it will naturally full the belly as well with some air, but the expansion, you mainly have to feel it in your rib cage when you breathe. And on the exhale, yeah, everything contracts. And then when you keep that exhale position for the following inhale, that's when you can actually engage your core. And you should be keeping this position for the exercise, for the period of exercise, when you have to perform a certain exercise, the core exercises or squats or lunges. So let me know in the comments which is the most challenging for you in this breathing technique and in this exercise. So I will be happy to answer your questions and I will be happy to help you. I also have my community, my pelvic floor and core healing program in my school app, which I update weekly with new videos, new programs, new trainings. You are welcome to join my community. I will be there for you to answer your questions, and then in that case, with a monthly membership, I will be able to better help you to heal from diastasis recti and core, because I'm available for my community weekly via a call and also daily messages through the app.